Hey everyone, day number 10, 30 days to communications excellence. Today I'm sharing with you a teaching that Dave Dobson used to call the salami technique. Sometimes he would call it the Stalin induction, but we're just going to stay with the salami technique for now. If you grab yourself a slice of salami, and then you grab yourself another slice of salami, and then a third, sooner or later you're going to have a big enough sandwich. So if you're working on somebody, you can build anchors on top of anchors. What you are doing is you are building one powerful chain of anchors. The way Dave used to do this was he would be looking around the room, and people naturally go in and out of trance at all times, like that. If you are astute enough, and if you have enough visual acuity to see people's eyes going up, glazing over, and you anchor that with a certain tone, perhaps, every time you see them going into that state, you can just anchor that even more with that same tone or an expression. Then, when you have gathered enough pieces of salami, so to speak, when you fire the anchor, all of those little anchors will click, 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 and you will get the state that you want. In the case when Dr. Dobson was doing this, he wanted the person to go into trance when he wanted. And so this was done completely other than consciously. Now, I remember that years and years ago when I learned NLP, I had a friend, my NLP teacher, in fact, Menachem, who, if you're watching this, I apologize in advance. Matter of fact, I'll even call him up and tell him about this. But Menachem tells some really bad jokes. The only thing worse than Menachem's bad jokes, and I'm going to get an email from him talking about how I don't appreciate his fine humor, but the only thing worse than Menachem's bad jokes were the fact that my wife thought that they were outrageously funny. And Menachem would tell a joke that had absolutely no point to it, and my wife would be doubled over in laughter. And Menachem and I were teaching an NLP course. And so what would happen is every time Menachem would tell a joke during the course and my wife would laugh, I would lift my right eyebrow and never said anything. Menachem would tell a joke, my wife would laugh, I would lift my right eyebrow. And this would go on for days. Finally, it was time for testing the people in the NLP course. And everybody was being really quiet and respectful, and I lifted up my eyebrow and my wife just started cracking up. She didn't know why, but she just started laughing. And I looked at Menachem and I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "I don't know." He was in on it. And we went back to the class and I lifted up my eye again, and my wife just started laughing hysterically. She didn't know why. She couldn't. She excused herself. She apologized. She came back in the room. She sat down. She said, "I'll be in better control." And I said, "Absolutely." And I raised my eye again, and she just went into a fit of hysterical laughter. And she said, "The two of you are doing something. I don't know what it is." I lifted my eye, and she doubled over in laughter. And then Menachem lifted his eye. And because it wasn't him doing it all along, she instantly knew what it was. And she said, "I'm getting duct tape for your eye so that you can't do that to me anymore." We were being very demonstrative in what we're doing because we wanted the class to see just how easy it was to anchor someone outside of their conscious awareness. Now you can do this for people for good, for a lot of good. You can anchor people who are in a really good state and save that anchor for a time when they're feeling really down. You can anchor someone when they're really up and going and fire that anchor at a time where they really need it. The whole concept of chaining anchors is called stacking anchors in Neil Strauss's book, The Game, because it's been used a lot in seduction. Neil doesn't go into detail, but a lot of people who follow the game unfortunately use NLP in a really bad way, to use anchors to manipulate people. Now remember what I said. If you use NLP to manipulate people towards a bad end, eventually they're going to catch on. And when they catch on, no amount of rapport building skills will enable you to repair that relationship. Keep that in mind. This is a powerful technique that can be used to help someone. Make sure that you use it for good. This has been Harlan Kilstein with Day 10 of NLP Copywriting, 30 Days to Communications Excellence. I will see you tomorrow.